Hello everyone, welcome to my Ari Coffee channel. I'm actually reading through a script because I do not have it down yet, and I really want to do this every week, and we just gotta put something out there. So what I'm trying to do is just read it off my phone, and hopefully it goes well. I don't mean to do this, but we gotta get somewhere, you know. So eventually, I'll get the script memorized for the introduction, but everything else is gonna be more improv, personal stake, and pretty much that's it. So let's go ahead and get to it. Anyway guys, welcome to Mayari Coffee channel, where we share stories, brew connection, and sip on life's experience. We're diving into a topic that's as deep as it is important: depression, as we call this series Voice of Depression. So this is the conversation many avoid, but here at Mayari, we believe in creating safe spaces for honest stories. Now, welcome to episode 1 of Voice of Depression. We're joined here by Chazmine Sansano, the co-owner, and my wife, who's here to share their journey on how they face depression and what they learned and how they're moving forward with it. So grab your favorite cup of coffee, which we don't have because we sold out of beans, because you guys are so amazing, and thank you again for just being on it, you know. And I'm glad that you love our story, and I'm glad you're supporting us, and continue on. Another way you can support us by liking, subscribing, and just following our journey along the way. Sit back and join us for a meaningful conversation that reminds us we're never alone. Before we dive in, let me explain how this is going to work. Here at Mayari Coffee, we believe in keeping things authentic and spontaneous, just like in life. So we prepared a series of questions all about the journey with depression. These questions cover different aspects: the challenges, the lessons, and even the unexpected silver lining. But here's the twist: we're not going to go through them in order. Instead, we've written each question down, folded them into a pile. I just faced it down, not folded them, and then shuffled them up. So, Chazmine, you'll pick 3 questions randomly from this pile, and whatever question comes up, we would love to share your honest thoughts and experience. There's no right or wrong answers, just your story. So let's go ahead and get started with the first question. Go ahead and pick one out of this pile. You can just grab any one of them.
I guess we're gonna go with blue, because blue is my favorite color.
Alright. Here is your first question. Were there any particular resources, such as books, therapy, or support groups, that were especially helpful during your journey?
Oh, very good question. Okay, thank God, because I needed to look at this. So honestly, I don't read as much as I should. So there were not that much books. Definitely resources though. So one for sure would be family, of course you, because you're my husband, so obviously everything was to you. Then I would always definitely go to my mom and my sister, because they are a big support. My support system, my main one. And then of course all my close friends, you guys all know who you are, so they have been there. And then I did go to therapy. So at first I didn't think therapy was one that I would want to go to or admit that I needed it, but then I needed it, especially navigating through the whole pregnancy, even pre-pregnancy. While I was pregnant, the doctors actually said maybe I should take therapy, so that way for our son while he was born, it won't kind of go on to him, or he won't feel it. It would just be more easier for me. So that's when I noticed that I really did need it, was because I am going to birth our son into this world, and I didn't want any of my anger, my mental health was just not good, and I just didn't want that to be. I wanted it to be a lot better for when he came into this world, so that way I am well prepared for him. So.
Oh, nicely said.
Yeah.
Alrighty. That's it for our first question. We're gonna go ahead and choose our second question. So around this thing, where I'm gonna be listening mostly, I won't be adding comment or concern or questions. I truly want the people coming in to really share their story without judgment or anything particular. So we really want to come down to listening, and hopefully you guys can relate to everything that Chazmine is saying today. Yeah, let's go ahead and pick a second question.
these green. There's a lot of green ones. Which is a dark green one. I think I just grabbed one.
Mm-hmm. Were there any moments or turning points that help you better understand or address your depression? Address?
Yes.
Address.
Man. Let me see. Were there any moments or turning points? Oh, man. I mean, there's a lot. There's just a lot. To point down to any moments or turning points, I would probably have to say, it's funny, kind of weird, is when we got into a really big argument. So me and my husband got into a really big argument. We've had several, but there was just probably like 3. We got big ones, or 2, 3.
2.
Oh, 2. 2 really big ones, and actually the second one was like the latest one we've been into, and that was probably a turning moment where I needed to snap out of my shit. And it was one of those where it was just like, if I don't shape up, I will be going down a dark hole for the worse. Like, I'm just gonna keep going down. I thought I was gonna get up. Like, I thought I'm climbing up, but no, that actually really put me down. And it was just like, if I don't do something now, if I don't change my ways, my mental health, if I don't use any of the tactics that I've learned in therapy, this marriage will not survive at all. So I think at that moment on, I knew that I needed, in order for my mental health and depression to get better, I needed to really hone in on the therapy skills that I've learned, not only for couples therapy that we went through, but also my individual. From the session that I've had, I had to utilize all of those skills and put it forward to help and save whatever was left with that argument and into our marriage. So that was that one.
Memorable, yeah, that was good. All right, let's go ahead into our final question. So this one is, were there any habits or coping mechanism that made your situation worse before you learned what worked and what worked better for you?
Let me read that one again. Were there any habits or coping mechanisms that made your situation worse? Okay, yeah, definitely. Habits. My old habits. So I have anger issues. It may not seem like it, but really I do. I mean, who doesn't, right? Who doesn't really, I mean, we have all anger issues in different ways, and mine is just a worse one just because of how I've just grown up with it, dealt with it, and not really sure how to navigate it. So that habit, again, I'm going to kind of bring back our arguments and just in general daily life. I've just had, I think it was because postpartum too. I'm still navigating through it. And I don't know, it's getting better, but it's still there. So I think with the whole anger, my anger has gotten worse, way worse than when it was before. Okay, so I think it's just me having my anger issues, but it continuously consuming me in a negative way and just getting worse, has brought me to situations, for example, like our argument, has gotten me into situations like that where shit just hit the fan and I need to just wake up and just stop. Not stopping angry, of course I'm going to feel my emotions, of course I'm going to feel angry at times, but also just to use my therapy skills. So it's just basically to use my therapy skills to really just, instead of like being angry, just kind of take a step back, take a moment to breathe and just figure out, why am I angry about the situation? What about the situation is making me angry? Is it the situation itself? Is it the person? Is it me? Or is it how I'm reacting in a negative way? So I think that that is a big habit of mine. That's a really, really deep habit that I'm still to this day breaking out of. And I feel like that habit has happened and it was worse. Like the card said, it definitely bring me to a very really dark, deep situation where I didn't want to be in, and now I think it's gotten better. Like, it's definitely gotten better.
So that is your 3 question. Now we're going to be talking about a question on the positive impact of depression. So here's the first 2 questions, or I'll tell you the first one. Looking back, has your experience with depression taught you anything meaningful about yourself or in life in general?
I think in both. So for myself, it definitely was, it's just self-growth right now.
Okay.
I'm just going through a growth phase, a self-growth phase. And then just in life in general, it really just made me, it's just an eye-opener for basically, what was that saying? I'm trying to think of that saying. You never know what you have until it's like gone. And I've been in multiple situations where if I don't shape up, it's truly going to be gone. So I think those are just the 2 things that really is for me.
Alrighty, and this is your last and final question. How was overcoming or managing your depression shaped your relationship or the way you approach challenges today?
Oh, well, I mean, I kind of just already mentioned it as this whole interview has had. So, because this was really one that resonated with me. I mean, in general, we both suffer from depression, just different types, and it happened unfortunately that it was the worst part of me that you got. So I think
I was overcoming or managing your depression shaping your relationship.
Yeah, so basically, like I mentioned and I kept mentioning in the previous ones, using the therapy skills that I've learned, that's pretty much helping me navigate not only like my anger issues and how to deal with it in situations, but also to talk to him in a manner of where it won't trigger his depression, because things that I do trigger his depression, and if I continue to do it, it'll just basically like drift us away, and I can't do that. And I do have to understand that what triggers me also triggers him. And by using my therapy skills that I've learned, and using everything that I've learned, and also just talking to him in a normal setting, in a normal conversation without any emotions in it. And like, if I do have an emotion, I need to walk away first and then come back to the situation, knowing that it will be fixed if we properly talk about things. So that's pretty much it.
Is there anything else you want to add, like any comment, or like what would you like the viewers to know?
Coming from a postpartum depression mom, first-time mom, I just feel like a lot of us moms don't really have a voice, or don't really talk about how hard that 4th trimester is and how lingering it can be. So I just want to let all of my mom friends know out there that you are not alone. It's hard. We're still navigating, and even if you feel like you need to be rushed, where I felt like I needed to be rushed compared to what was on Instagram, you commented on some things that I needed to do, like, you know, just things that have been said to me, and I'm probably sure it's been said to you. Don't feel like you need to get there back in time. You will eventually get back. It may not be back to where you were, but it'll be back to a better version of yourself. And I'm fully aware of that now, because I know that I'm better, but I still have a journey to go, and I know that I will get there eventually. So
awesome. I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story. And then Chazmine, wait.
That's kind of weird. What?
Hey, Chazmine. But anyway, the conversation like these are the heart of Mayari Coffee, building understanding and connection through the stories we share. And then to anyone watching who might be struggling with depression, remember, you are not alone, and there's always someone ready to listen and help. If today's video resonated with you, or if you know someone who might need to hear this, please share it, as it will help them. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my Mayari Coffee channel for more inspiring stories. And as always, we'll see you in the next time with another cup of connection. Take care. I should fuck her in the Benz.